Monster Talks USA. I am your host, Eric Monster Williams, and what we're going to do today is continue to discuss a few things that affect us all as Americans. Two subjects I'm going to touch on: outsourcing and prison industry. Outsourcing, I'll try to make this quick because there are a lot of companies that are going back and correcting the mistake of sending jobs across seas. So let me just say, I would urge you to be very selective with the companies that you choose to conduct business with, and with the companies that you do conduct business with, let your voices be heard. Let them know that you want those jobs back in America, not because of a racial issue or a nationalism or tribalism or whatever other crazy reason. It's simply good customer service to allow your customers of a particular region to speak to agents, tech support, who speak the same language and or dialect. Because if I can clearly understand you, it makes it that much more easy and that much more of a better customer service experience. So it's a good business decision, and then it's a good decision for America as a whole. And again, there are a lot of companies that are going back, building call centers and bringing jobs in general back to the United States, because otherwise we do have to urge our senators, our House representatives, etc. to close the loopholes and make these companies pay their fair share of taxes, because if their products, their goods are benefiting from our roads, our infrastructure, as you see we have bridges that are falling apart, then these companies that are moving their goods on our roads or railroad tracks, etc., they need to contribute their fair share of taxes so that this infrastructure can stay intact. They can no longer benefit off the back of hard-working Americans and not contribute to keeping things running and functioning. It's only fair. And again, companies have a corporate social responsibility to all stakeholders, not just shareholders. Again, if you're not familiar, as an American citizen, you are a stakeholder in any company that conducts business, because the things that they do with their company, whether it's pollution, whether they drive on our streets, etc., you are affected by it in some shape, form, or fashion. So again, this gives you power and a voice in any business in the United States. Maybe not a strong voice, but a voice nonetheless. Now, moving I guess past that issue and into prison industry, it kind of ties together. Again, businesses wanting to get the most work for the least amount of pay. And what it has created within this prison industry is a new slavery system. What you have is inmates being paid pennies, and then you have good paying jobs that are no longer available to free citizens of America. Again, this is a very, very crazy system that must be corrected. We must apply pressure. Again, same thing. Your senators, your House representatives, whoever else that you would need to contact, and let them know that this must stop. If you look at California, their prison system almost made them bankrupt because they decided to abuse the 3-strike law, which is really intended for repeat sexual offenders and child predators. See, the problem is that there was so much hatred for the minorities of this nation that America almost spited itself. Like, as they say, cut your nose off to spite your face. Well, we were so focused on damaging and harming minorities, whether it be blacks, Hispanics, etc., that many were blind to how it would affect them. You look at African Americans, it was a strong push to keep the level of education lower. And now what do we have? We have where America is ranked very low in the world as far as our level of education if you compare us to Sweden, Canada, etc., etc. So I look at, we discussed that. And then we discussed how it was okay to incarcerate all of these people until the reality was that you yourself are paying this debt. So you're paying to keep these people incarcerated, sometimes unjustly, sometimes justly. But in either case, you are paying to keep these people incarcerated. And then you're paying full price for the products or services which are being produced via prison industry. And at the same time, more and more jobs are being taken away from free society. So these companies are basically benefiting from slave labor, you know, with a minor tweak to it, and that is that they may pay a few cents per day to the inmate, which is really no different from when a slave master had to maybe buy a few clothes and give slaves a few scraps or leftovers. So there was some fee paid by the slave master to house the slaves and keep the slaves in somewhat healthy condition. And that is the same way with the prison system of today. So this has to be corrected. And many of these situations are drug-related situations. And the reality is that people are going to suppress their pains, whether they are smoking cigarettes, which kill people, whether they're drinking alcohol, which many people die from drunk drivers and maybe just over consuming alcohol every year. The war on drugs versus the war on terror, two completely different methods of attack from the same nation. You have where there was a war on terror. Well, we went right over and we destroyed whole countries. Well, if they truly felt that this was a war on drugs and that this was a threat, then they would go to where these poppy fields or coca fields were, and they would completely destroy and eliminate them. But they don't view it as a threat. It's simply an excuse and a means to feed this new slavery system. See, by keeping the laws bent unjustly, it gives them basically a legal way to kidnap and keep people enslaved. Now, a part of this falls onto free citizens to make the appropriate decisions until laws are corrected. Such as you see now in many states, they have began to legalize marijuana. And my theory upon this is that if marijuana helps people in California with different ailments, how is that different from a human being with those same ailments in Missouri or Illinois or Georgia, etc., etc.? So again, this is more so a means of control. It has more so to do with taxation, and that's fine. Roll out a way to tax the product or service, and let's move forward, because at the end of the day, the people who are utilizing these various drugs, they're going to continue to do those things. What you have to do is attack the root. Why are people drinking? Why are people smoking cigarettes? Why are they smoking marijuana, crack, whatever they might be doing? You have to look at focusing on the problem, getting the child molesters off the street, abusive parents who are neglecting their household, which are creating these issues of pain and putting these hurt people out to society who feel a need to suppress that pain.